what I did wrong in the past and what I did right, I had to realize that what you do is always right because you made the choice to do it. And for me, growing up was realizing not that you had to look back on things as like mistakes or successful things, but analyze why you made that choice, and in that you will find yourself. And I wouldn't do anything any different because it wouldn't be me no more, you know?
You know, the last place I would have ever went is Seattle in December. You know, it's really cold. It reminded me of Yosemite when we went there and it failed. So I had those thoughts in my head, you know, coming up this way. We got a call from Chase. We packed up our truck, put everything in it and just started driving. And it was halfway through our drive that I realized, what are we gonna do when we get to Seattle? Who are we gonna shoot? I didn't even know how the show was gonna work. There was a lot of unknowns going into this.
Hello, Internet! Hello, hi, I'm Chase Jarvis. Welcome to another episode of Chase Jarvis Live. Very different episode today than what you're used to.
You know, it's really inspiring to see someone that's so driven, and I feel like on our project, we're just hammering day after day after day, holidays, and then you see another guy that's doing the same thing and he's really successful. It gives me hope, and it gives me the will to want to keep going.
This is more of a story than a guest. It's a story of an upcoming artist, someone that has deeply inspired me. Please join me in welcoming Ian Reuter. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, bud.
Yep.
Have a seat, please.
That was a really good introduction. I'm like, that guy sounds cool. I mean, it seems this is the pattern of how it works with us, but we honestly came here and our only plan was to be on the Chase Jarvis Show. And by the end of the show, we had more people than we could even photograph.
We're here at Chase Jarvis Live. I'm with Ishmael Butler of Shabazz Palaces and formerly the Diggable Planets. He's been around the block. He's a Grammy Award winner. And we're about to shoot his photograph with my man Ian Reuter over there, who's going to teach me how to shoot a wet plate with a truck-sized camera.
A little faster and more, a little more, okay.
My parents felt like success for their kid was if a motherfucker was happy, basically, you know what I'm saying? Or at least content with what he was doing and the way he was feeling. That was their objective. But if you think like, yo, I got money and I have material things, so I've succeeded, I don't agree with your definition of success.
You got a Grammy, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was cool. I think it might have been the second or third year that Grammy gave an award for hip hop.
That they actually recognized it.
For me, music was like, it was just always a language that made sense to me, you know, like to convey emotion. Where you want to go, yeah, you could try to steal your way there, but you love it, so it's gonna take you where you're gonna go, you know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is wake up every day and do it, and you'll end up where you're supposed to be. So that's how I feel about the music too. I just do it, and fortunately it's taken me to some pretty cool places. Most of them I could have never really imagined for myself anyway, so. I've had jobs, man. Fast food, B-team at construction sites, those kind of things. But the worst job that I had, sorting out plastics on a conveyor belt in a plastic recycling plant. But I was, in my mind while I was doing that, I was doing something in my head that had to do with music, you know what I'm saying? Rapping or thinking of a melody or something. Everything I do and have done, even when I didn't know it, had something to do with music, you know? There's no real division between the two.
I don't understand the distance between job and life. A lot of people say, I just have this job so that I can then have this life. That's a justification, in my opinion. Like, why would you not do the thing you love? Oh, so I can love it. Well, what if you got to do it all the time? I wouldn't, oh, everything's good in moderation. I don't know, man. Moderation keeps me sort of numb. I spent a good part of my life doing what other people wanted me to do. I knew I wanted to be an artist, and I knew that, well, I only knew because I was told how impossible it is and how nobody makes it, and how when you get there you won't make any money, you won't have any fun, and you're just going to be a loser dirtbag and you're going to end up as an accountant anyway. So why not just go to be an accountant? So after you get through all of that bullshit, to have the balls enough to actually start washing dishes or waiting tables or parking cars or tending bar, such that you can, even if just for the first minute, live the dream that you're going to be the thing that people told you you could never be, then it was worth it. So I thank my lucky stars every day for my wife, who waited tables while I was trying to make it as a photographer. She would bring home her tips from the day, and she wasn't in the door 2 minutes when I kissed her on the cheek, grab her tips, and go down to the lab to process my film that was like from last week. I think right now there's 1,000 or 10,000 or even just 10 people watching this who are doing something that they don't want to be doing. They're not living their dream. And if this is any sort of a call, like saying, hey man, we've all been there and we've all experienced the same pressure. The distance between where you are now and the path that you think you should be on is probably smaller than you think it is.
Right from the first photograph we took, it was raining, and I'm like, this sucks. Like, why does it gotta be like that? Why can't we be here in August? These situations force you to work in these conditions, and you end up making beautiful photographs, you know? And I think that translates to life. And you can't just stay in an air-conditioned, warm room. You gotta go out there and experience it. And when things are tough and you're getting beat up, you feel it.
I feel like I'm a failure a lot. The days where I wake up and I wonder what the fuck I'm doing, you wake up and you go to work. None of this happened without so much hard work and so much effort. This is not a fantasy. Being an artist is not some sort of masturbation. Like, it's work. You don't just get to like sit around and smoke cigarettes with a beret on and wait to be fucking inspired.
My name's Peter Line. I used to snowboard a lot more than I do now. I used to do a lot more paintings than I do now. I owned more companies than I do now.
When Peter was 20 years old, he started a company called Forum Snowboards, and through that I actually ended up getting a job, and that started my career, and I worked with Peter for the past 10 years.
I had an older brother who listened to Ozzy and Iron Maiden, and like I was like a rocker kid at 10 years old, going to this new school in Washington, and kids like looked at me all weird, thought I was a girl because I had long hair. And I think that kind of changed my entire life to like just do whatever I want to do, because I got used to being made fun of as a young kid. I don't follow, I guess, what everybody else is. I didn't really like football or basketball. Snowboarding was kind of a sport that came to me through skateboarding, and skateboarding, same thing, is like something different. And it's led me to where I'm at now, wherever that is. I'm still good, it hasn't gotten too weird yet, so after that beer opens, it might be a little getting weirder. Snowboarding was my life. If I could, I would do it every single day, 12 hours a day. But if you're a lifer in snowboarding, 30-something years old, still trying to be a snowboarder, you're coming out of it with zero job skills. Forum was my baby. Like I came up with the name myself. The first board graphics were like all my ideas, and like just working with the company for so long. Just thinking back of all that, like what I've grown through with this company, like, is definitely a very emotional thing. Like 16 years of my life, then it just dies. It's like a child I had that died before its parent. It's a sad thing. Like I definitely cried. Like it was a weird moment. People like might laugh that I cried because the company went out of business, but like it's like a huge thing in my life that's just gone.
These stories, they're not just about these people, they're about everyone. And Peter lost his job, I lost my job, and millions of people in America are in hard times. And I think his heart was broken when Forum went out of business. That was his dream and his baby. And he lost all of that just overnight. When I started the Silver and Light project, I still had a job with Forum, and I was using that money to finance this project, and I put all of that money into it, and then I get a call and it's like, no more job. You know, the past 10 years I had had these dreams, and it took me a while just to build up the courage to go out and try something and follow what was in my heart. I can honestly say right now, this is the most alive I've ever felt.
This might only be for today or even just this moment, but right now, I'm truly living my dream.